Alright, so here's a fun fact nobody asked for. Humans are great at two things: overthinking and accidentally creating massive explosions. Just classic Tuesday stuff. Welcome to 7 times science basically invented a bomb by accident. Because apparently progress sometimes looks a lot like, oops, we blew up half the lab. Grab a snack, preferably not one that's flammable, and let's dive in. 1. The guy who accidentally made nitroglycerin and basically ruined family picnics forever. Let's start with Ascanio Sobrero, a dude who just wanted to mess around with chemistry in the 1840s, and accidentally invented nitroglycerin. You know that unstable, explodes when you look at it kind of stuff. Sobrero thought he was creating a cool new chemical. Instead, he made a substance so touchy that just thinking about it wrong could set it off. Even Sobrero himself was like, yeah, this is probably too dangerous for human use, which is scientist speak for run. Fast forward a few decades and Alfred Nobel, yes, that Nobel, figures out how to stabilize nitroglycerin a bit, markets it as dynamite, and makes a fortune. Sobrero, meanwhile, just sat in the corner, quietly regretting every life choice that led him to that explosive day in the lab. Moral of the story? Sometimes your biggest contribution to humanity is teaching it new and creative ways to blow itself up. 2. When fertilizer just exploded itself into history. Alright, so the early 20th century was wild for chemistry. Enter ammonium nitrate, a chemical mainly used for fertilizer because, growing food is important, or whatever. Except, ammonium nitrate has a teeny tiny flaw. Under the right conditions, it can turn into an absolute hellfire bomb. Like, level an entire city kind of bomb. And guess what? People learned that the hard way. In 1947, the SS Grand Camp, a ship loaded with ammonium nitrate, caught fire at the port of Texas City. The fertilizer exploded with the force of a small nuclear bomb, killed almost 600 people, and turned the harbor into what basically looked like the set of a bad apocalyptic movie. The best part? Ammonium nitrate is still used all over the world today. Humanity absolutely killing it at learning from our mistakes. 3. The chemist who thought glass was boring and accidentally made atomic candy in the 1940s, a dude named Roy Plunkett, was just trying to make a new refrigerant, keep your ice cream nice and chilly. Instead, he discovered Teflon. Yay, non-stick pans. But here's the twist. While messing with fluorine gas, scientists realized you could accidentally create polytetrafluoroethylene, aka a material that's super inert. Unless you try really, really hard to mess with it, then it releases toxic gases so deadly they were weaponized during World War II. Basically, the same technology that keeps your eggs from sticking to the pan was this close to becoming a chemical weapon. Breakfast just got way more exciting, right? Also, fun fact, Teflon was later involved in a project called Project Chariot, which casually proposed using atomic bombs to create artificial harbors. Just nuke a coastline because you don't feel like building a dock. Classic. 4. The time we invented gun cotton, aka, let's make fabric explosive because why not? Picture this. It's the 19th century, laundry day is boring, and chemists everywhere are desperately trying to spice things up. Enter Christian Schoenbein, a German-Swiss chemist who accidentally spilled a mixture of nitric and sulfuric acid in his kitchen, grabbed his wife's apron to clean it up, and then hung it by the stove to dry. And boom. Welcome to the world of gun cotton. The apron detonated like it was auditioning for a Michael Bay movie. Gun cotton turned out to be a key component in explosives for firearms and artillery. So yeah, next time you're annoyed about doing chores, remember, at least your laundry isn't literally trying to kill you. 5. The delightful disaster that was leaded gasoline. Leaded gasoline, humanity's boldest middle finger to public health. In the 1920s, engineers were struggling to stop car engines from making weird knocking sounds. So what was their solution? Add tetraethyl lead to gasoline. Problem solved. Except not really, because breathing lead is super bad for you. Like permanent brain damage bad. Like, what if we turned every major city into a slow-motion horror movie bad? And the best part? Scientists knew. They knew immediately. Workers at the lead factories started hallucinating, convulsing, and dropping dead within weeks. But instead of fixing the problem, companies just rebranded leaded gas as a miracle product and bullied everyone into using it for the next 50 years. You gotta admire the sheer audacity. 6. When scientists accidentally made the deadliest stuff known to man, for sheer tease and giggles. let's talk about VX nerve agent. Originally, British scientists were trying to invent a new pesticide because, apparently, bugs were living rent-free in their heads. Instead, they created VX, a chemical so toxic that a single drop on your skin can kill you in minutes by literally shutting your nervous system down. Think about that next time you whine about mosquito bites. VX was later weaponized by various military programs because of course it was. And while it's banned today under international law, the simple fact that something this cartoonishly deadly exists because of bug spray experiments says everything you need to know about how scientific priorities sometimes work. 7. When the first nuclear bomb test almost destroyed more than just New Mexico, we can't talk about accidental bombs without mentioning the Manhattan Project. Now, sure, the scientists meant to make an atomic bomb. That wasn't the accident. The accident was that, for a hot second, some scientists thought there was a chance that detonating the first nuke might ignite the Earth's atmosphere and literally end all life on the planet. Their response? They crunched the numbers and basically said, it probably won't happen. Probably. And then they went ahead and did it anyway. Imagine inviting your friends over for a barbecue and being like, hey, there's a small chance lighting this grill could rip a hole in space-time. But YOLO, right? That, my friends, is the energy that built the 20th century. And that's the list. 7 times science went, whoops, and accidentally invented something that could erase humanity faster than your Wi-Fi going out during a Zoom meeting. Moral of the story? Maybe, just maybe, double-check your experiments before you become a historical footnote with the words tragic explosion next to your name, or don't. Apparently, that's how we got half the cool stuff we have today. Thanks for watching. Smash that like button like you're trying to set off an accidental explosion, and subscribe for more stories about how humanity basically stumbles through history on pure chaos energy. Catch you next time, hopefully not from a blast crater.